Why can't humans regrow teeth? Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror one ordinary morning, brushing your teeth like you've done thousands of times before. Suddenly, you notice something feels different. One tooth has cracked. Maybe it happened while biting into a piece of hard candy, maybe while eating popcorn at the movies, or maybe it simply gave up after years of loyal service. Whatever the reason, one thought immediately races through your mind. Please don't let me lose this tooth. And that's a surprisingly human fear. Because unlike a broken fingernail, a haircut gone wrong, or even a cut on your skin, a lost tooth is one of the very few parts of your body that almost never comes back. Once your adult teeth are gone, your body doesn't rush to repair the damage. It doesn't grow a replacement. It simply accepts the loss, leaving modern dentistry to solve a problem that evolution chose not to. But here's the part that makes this mystery almost unbelievable. At this very moment, somewhere in the ocean, a shark is probably growing another tooth without giving it the slightest thought. In fact, many sharks will replace tens of thousands of teeth during their lifetime. Crocodiles can grow new teeth over and over again, as if nature had given them an unlimited subscription. Even certain fish and reptiles treat losing a tooth as nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Meanwhile, humans, arguably the most intelligent species on Earth, lose just one permanent tooth, and suddenly we're discussing implants, bridges, crowns, and surgeries worth thousands of dollars. It almost feels as though evolution forgot something. Or did it? The truth is far more fascinating than most people realize. Long before you were born, before your heart even finished forming, something extraordinary was already happening inside your tiny jaw. Hidden beneath your gums were dozens of microscopic tooth buds, each carefully programmed to grow into the teeth you would need later in life. Your first set became your baby teeth. Beneath them waited a second generation, quietly preparing for its turn. Then, over the next several years, those permanent teeth slowly pushed the baby teeth aside until they became the smile you still have today. And then, everything stopped. The factory that had worked so perfectly simply shut its doors forever. The question is, why would evolution build such an incredible system, only to abandon it halfway? To answer that, we have to travel back millions of years, long before humans existed. Our distant ancestors lived in a world where survival depended on adapting, not perfection. Some animals evolved to replace teeth endlessly because their lifestyle demanded it. Sharks attacked prey powerful enough to snap teeth in half. Crocodiles crushed bones with enormous force. Losing teeth wasn't unusual, it happened constantly. If they couldn't replace them, they wouldn't survive. Our ancestors, however, gradually began living very different lives. As they learned to control fire, cook food, shape stone tools, and eventually hunt more efficiently, the amount of stress placed on their teeth slowly decreased. Food became softer. Meals became easier to chew. Instead of investing precious energy into growing endless rows of replacement teeth, evolution quietly redirected those resources somewhere else. Towards something far more expensive. The human brain. Although your brain represents only a small percentage of your body weight, it consumes an astonishing amount of your daily energy. Evolution is always making compromises, and somewhere along the journey, nature may have reached a simple conclusion: maintaining a larger brain was more valuable than maintaining an endless supply of teeth. In other words, every time you solve a puzzle, write a book, invent a new technology, or dream about exploring another planet, you might be benefiting from an evolutionary trade that was made millions of years ago. But the story doesn't end there. Because scientists have discovered something remarkable hidden deep inside our DNA. The genetic instructions responsible for growing additional teeth may not have disappeared completely. Instead, many researchers believe they were simply switched off, like an old piece of software that still exists, but is no longer running. Around the world, research teams are now investigating whether those ancient biological instructions can one day be safely reactivated, allowing humans to regrow real teeth instead of relying on artificial replacements. That future hasn't arrived yet. But for the first time in history, it no longer sounds impossible. So perhaps the real question isn't why humans can't regrow teeth. Perhaps the better question is whether evolution truly took that ability away. Or whether it simply left the door unlocked, waiting for us to discover how to open it ourselves. And if that day finally comes, the next generation may look at dentures the same way we look at wooden swords or horse-drawn carriages, an ingenious invention from a time before science learned to give nature a second chance.